Welcome back, everybody. Thank you again for being a part of this journey with me. And this is the Oneil Effect. As we continue to go through the book, I am Bishop Oneil Williams, and I am so blessed to be back with you another week. It's been another week. Wow. So glad to be back with you tonight to share on chapter 4. Last week, when we end the book, we ended on chapter 3, and we're talking about the constant losing brings frustration, and that constant losing, the feel of loss doesn't have to be permanent. That's how we ended the last week's talk. And so tonight, I want to talk about chapter 4. And what we're going to talk about is the feeling of lost. So there is a difference. I'm going to explain that to you. And so for those of you who are joining me for the first time tonight, as I said, I am Bishop Oneil Williams, and you're coming from my book, Stop the Procession, It's Your Time to Win. This book is in production and will be out in the next 8 months. We are going through the process of editing and publishing. And so when this book is finished, you can get this book on any platform. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, digital downloads, any format in which you want this book, you can have it. Those of you who have purchased this book pre-sale, and I want to say thank you. You have helped me a lot to get this book into production. So I want to say thank you. And I cannot wait to get this book into your hand. For those of you who said, Pastor Oneil, I want to be a part of it. I missed it out and I want to be a part of it. You're not late. You can purchase this book pre-sale for $20. And the information of how you can send the money is going to be on the screen. So please look out for that. Also, this book will be available for purchasing on that day. Now, I'm going to say to everyone, please, the price is not going to be the same when the book comes out of production. So that's why I would love for you to get it in the pre-sale right now. And I know that this book is going to minister to you. It's going to bless you. It's one of those books that's not going to sit on your shelf and just gather dust. I believe that you're going to enjoy reading it and sharing it. And also, there's a lot of messages to the pastors and teachers and Sunday school teachers who wants to use this book as a reference. There will be a lot of references that you can use this book for. So this is for everyone. And so as we go through chapter 4, I want to talk about lost. The difference between losing and being lost is that when you are losing, it is still in motion. In other words, when someone said you're losing the game, it means that you have not lost the game yet. You are losing, which means that there are opportunity for a comeback. There's an opportunity to win again. When you start feeling a sense of loss, it starts to affect your destiny. That means that your drive and your spirit is affected. Everyone around you, whether they are charismatic celebrities or persons close to you, experiences the feeling of being lost multiple times in their lives. I have been there. This book comes from that place. And so I am not saying something to you that's foreign. Those of you listening to me tonight, you are familiar with what I'm talking about. What accompanies loss is loneliness. The sense of feeling alone. The feeling of being lost creates loss of direction and purpose. So what I want to do in this book is to show you how much not to be stuck in that feeling of being lost. Because the mere fact that you are still here, I want to use the term that says, while there's life, there's hope. What loss does, what the feeling of lost does, is that it can drive you into a cycle of depression. It creates fear of what the future holds. And without knowing it, sometimes You're slowly on the road away from your peace and your joy to that lonely place where if there is no one to save you, then the possibility arises for you to remain lost forever. And so what I want you to understand, that too many people who are in a depressed state of mind. Why? Because they feel like they are always losing, so they feel lost. They feel there is no hope. That lost means that I'm hopeless. And I want to share with you that it's natural for individuals to view everything in a negative light when there's always a sense of loss. I want to share with you that sometimes you come at individuals, you sprang at them, you're always angry, you're always mad, and you ask yourself, why? That's not me. Maybe, and just maybe, you are in that place of where you are frustrated because you're feeling the sense of loss and as if you're not getting a break. And so, and the feeling of not being able to get a break, the feeling lost feels like, the feeling lost feels a lot of like depression, if you get what I'm saying. It was Caroline Ferrora, a psychologist, who helps people to build their relationship and recover from trauma and addictions, says, you might feel unmotivated and uninterested in your hobbies. She went on to say, you might feel like life is meaningless. When you're experiencing the feeling of loss, it allows you to see yourself as the victim. Wow. I'm telling you, man, this book is going to be powerful. And that's the reason why I pull out secondary sources, because I don't want it to feel as if I'm giving you my own thoughts, how I feel. I want you to have the facts. I don't want it just to be a very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want it to be the book that's just motivational, but I want it to be a book that also factual, inspirational, so that you can pull from other people's resources. And the references are going to be in the book, so you can go and read up their resources to see and fully understand what I'm talking about. Now, the story of this book, again, for those of you who don't know, is based on this woman from Nain in the Bible who was experiencing loss. But while some losses are tolerable, she was experiencing an intolerable one because everything she was basing her success on was in the coffin. One of the main symptoms of having constant feeling of loss, as I said, is depression. That means you just don't want to wake up in the morning. You don't feel like going out. You don't feel like talking to anyone. You become secluded. You entered into your Lodibar. And so what this chapter in the book, it wants to show you is what loss does. The sense of loss creates depression. Let's talk about that for a moment. It is dangerous. It is dangerous to deny your emotional feelings because this leads to depression. Feeling of loss doesn't necessarily mean that you isolate yourself. I saw my own mother struggle with the passing of my sister. She never get over it. That sense of loss is always there. She just feel like she lost her only daughter. And so every time the name comes up, she feels that sense of loss. And every time she feels that way, it brings her into the place of depression. There's some things you're never able to let go of, but you can't you cannot allow it to affect you to the point where you feel hopeless. And so I want to show you in this chapter why it is necessary for you not to allow the feeling of loss to become permanent. Because the consistent feeling of loss creates blindness to purpose. Wow, you're going to enjoy this. Let me say that again. Consistent feeling of loss creates blindness to purpose. Too many people are walking around with lost direction, lost purpose, and frustrated destiny. Can I say that again? Too many people are walking around with a lost direction, lost purpose, and frustrated destiny. Here's what one writer that I quoted says, and the name is Lamisha. Whether you have lost yourself in your job, relationship, your role as a parent, or simply feel lost in life in general, you are not alone. It doesn't mean your life is doomed and that you will never find yourself again. It simply means you're going through an incubation period and transformation. She went on to say, the key is not to get stuck in your current lost state and to tap into your creative power to create a life you love. Now, I love that. Just reading that quote alone motivates me. And these are the type of quotes that are going to be in this book that are going to motivate you, that are going to help you, that are going to pull you out of that state of feeling lost. My purpose for doing these chapters these weeks is because I want you to get a sense. It's a prelude to the book. I want you to get a sense of what this book is about and how it can help you, how it can motivate you, how it can reach you. And I want to just look at one Bible character for a moment as I wrap this up. Moses. Moses must have felt this way because his life was the epitome of success. Adopted into a royal family where he was in line to be king. While trying to help one of his own, he ended up committed murder and was informed on by the same people he was trying to help. He had to run for his life and lost everything. How do you survive such loss? So how do you do that? This is the type of loss that he has the power, that has the power to drive you to be suicidal. The feeling of having lost purpose and destiny. Moses ended up in the wilderness and for 40 years remained there until he decided he was going to change his direction of where he always fed his father-in-law's sheep by going to the other side. It was not until he decided not to be predictable in his approach that he saw the greatest miracle in his life. The purpose that I want you to get, the message I want you to get away from this tonight is this. You do not have to feel that sense of lost. Or you do not have to make it permanent in your life, because all it does is break you down to the place of helplessness and hopelessness. And so as we continue doing this in the coming weeks, I am hoping that I may touch on nuggets of this book that can motivate you, that can create for you that excitement that I want you to have as you prepare to receive this book in your hand or on your tablet, or wherever you choose to have it. I'm excited. I hope you are. And I can't wait for this book to come out. I can't wait for my own copy in my hand, because every single time that I go over this book, it just motivates me. It just makes me feel as if I'm writing to myself. And I'm hoping that's how you're going to feel. And I'm hoping that's the message that you're getting from this book. So chapter 4 in a synopsis is saying that lost, when you feel that way and allow it to become permanent, it creates depression, and it allows you to feel as if you have no purpose, and it creates blind spots in your life, and it affects your purpose. Don't let that happen to you. Once again, I want to say thank you for joining me this week as we continue on the book, Stop the Procession. It's your time to win. This is Bishop Oneil Williams, and I'm so blessed to be in your room or in your house and in your presence. Thank you.